Thank you so much, Cynthia. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we gather here today and pay my respects to elders past and present. My presentation, as Cynthia said, is about listening to the client voice to develop an innovative online information hub called Cancer Visor. Red Kite is the charity that has developed Cancer Visor. We have been delivering essential psychosocial, financial and educational support to children and young people with cancer and their families for over 30 years. This support is as real as putting food on the table, petrol in the car, keeping the lights on at home. Each day, 4 families in Australia are told that their child has cancer. Red Kite is there to ensure they don't face it alone. At Red Kite, we're always listening to families and young people to see how we can further improve our support to meet their needs. They told us that they crave information, but often find the internet hard to navigate and difficult to know what is credible and trustworthy. So began the idea of developing an online information hub. This isn't a new need. Back in 2004, Red Kite did some needs analysis research, and families told us that they have challenges in navigating, locating, and understanding cancer information. Similarly, there was a systematic review of psychological interventions for adolescents and young adults living with chronic illness by Sanson Daly et al. In 2012, and they found that significant unmet needs exist for children and young people with cancer and their families in the area of information provision. In 2014, Red Kite conducted a digital needs analysis with clients to get a better understanding of their online information needs. And they told us that they wanted help finding high-quality information from trusted sources, information tailored to their unique circumstances, and an opportunity to connect with others like themselves. So the solution, it's an online information hub that provides quality and reliable information to help families get answers to questions and hopefully feel less overwhelmed and alone. The aim is that the web-based platform helps users to navigate through their childhood and adolescent cancer journey by providing content that comes with real user feedback on what people found useful. It also allows users to search for a range of high-quality resources, providing a convenient mobile and desktop experience across all stages of the cancer journey. To validate our hypotheses around what a digital platform should look like and offer, the Research, Evaluation and Innovation team at Red Kite conducted in-depth interviews with 12 parents and 5 health professionals. This feedback was invaluable in better understanding what the core gaps were when looking for information about paediatric and adolescent and young adult cancer at any stage, from diagnosis to survivorship and bereavement. The types of information sought included medical information, stories from other families or young people, practical tips, and specific content in the areas of nutrition, education, and financial assistance. Families and young people told us that they wanted information they could trust from people like themselves, as well as from health experts. With the concept validated, Red Kite took an agile approach to the development of Cancer Visor, drawing on Eric Ries's lean startup technique to create a minimum viable product with just enough features to meet the needs of the core client groups, which are parents, carers, and young people. Our age group ranges young people up to the age of 24 years old. This agile product development methodology gives us the opportunity to improve iteratively over time, utilising user feedback and a test and learn approach. As soon as the prototype was ready, we again went to the clients to conduct user testing, this time with another 12 parents and 6 health professionals. The testing was focused particularly on understanding the user experience in relation to functionality, usability, the perceived nature and quality of the content, and perceptions around the website's design. Suggested improvements to the homepage included making it more simple and logical and ensuring that there are a range of entry points to searching for the information. So these were incorporated into the finalisation of the minimum viable product. So the results so far, similarly, we are relatively new. We released Cancer Visor to the public in December last year in beta form. We currently have over 1,000 pieces of content, and the content, when we say content, includes information articles, fact sheets, links to other websites, stories, videos, podcasts. So it's across the breadth of online information, not just sort of flat didactic sort of fact sheets. We have close to 2,000 visitors coming to Cancer Advisor every month, and over 70% of these users are returning visitors. Since release 9 months ago, through our test and learn cycles, we've made further improvements to optimise the website, such as simplifying our registration process, suggesting other articles that people might want to be interested in reading when they go onto a page. We've improved the layout of our homepage, and we've added accessibility settings to the website. So how do we know if we are meeting the need? The test and learn approach we've applied to Cancer Advisor means that we are consistently looking at the data and user insights to see if we are meeting families and young people's needs. In turn, we're applying the feedback and insights to make improvements to better meet their needs. The website analytics provide information on how many people are visiting the site, if they are new or return users, and which pages they viewed. We know which articles are most viewed and can also track back to see if this is due to specific social media posts or not. We are also using heat mapping to observe how users move on a page, and have a feedback form, suggest content form, and polls that pop up on the site to get some real-time insights, such as, did you find what you were looking for? So what's next for Cancer Advisor? Well, we are continuously reviewing the data analytics and user feedback to implement improvements to enhance user experience and the value of the site. We have set up a medical advisory group to inform the continued development and quality assurance of Cancer Advisor, specifically in regards to medical content, and the current members on the medical advisory group are all paediatric oncologists. We're in the planning stages for where the next big investment will be, and we're talking with clients to get their inputs to guide those decisions. Possible next steps include a teenager and young adult specific version, and to look at technology such as Google Translate to expand the reach to culturally and linguistically diverse groups. We're even looking at how we can expand the scope of the site from information provision to online communities and online service provision. So please check out the website. It's canceradvisor.org.au, and tell colleagues and clients all about it. If you'd like any further information, I'll be around during the breaks, or you can send an email to info@canceradvisor.org.au. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I would just ask, I guess there's a lot of, not a lot, there's other players in the space of providing information and support, and I was wondering if you've considered partnerships with other organisations, Canteen, Cancer Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. So those other sites that provide information are all linked in on Cancer Advisor. Right. So we either are working with them really closely, or we've actually linked to their content. So a good example, there are sites that are sort of maybe not quite exactly the same, a bit complementary. So Livewire is a good example. So we have been partnering with them because that's more like an online community for young people to talk to each other. So we're linking in with them around their site and trying not to duplicate, and look at how we provide the information provision, but they provide the peer support angle, right. That sort of thing, yeah.
Right, sounds great.
Awesome, thanks.
I can't actually see, is there any more questions?
Thank you, that was really interesting. One of the things I took from one of the quotes was, I think it was a mother wanting as much information as she could no matter where she was, and that sort of put a red flag for someone perhaps who needed some additional support. And I wondered if you'd incorporated anything about sometimes information can be helpful, but sometimes it cannot be helpful for consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. And so through the information that is provided on Cancer Advisor, we often are also saying, it's really good if you're talking to your treating team, or we've got like sort of the the main sort of crisis support phone numbers at the bottom of the website in the footer. And then when I was talking about like sort of expanding to online service provision, so at Red Kite we have a team of social workers, community-based support. So, you know, how we could maybe have a function where there's like a little pop-up chat that comes up and it's like, would you like to speak to a social worker either online or, you know, over the phone or in other ways? Yeah, it's a really good suggestion, thanks.
Oh, hi. It looks like a great program. I was just interested to know what kind of financial commitment you've had to make to get this up and running and to keep it going.
And sorry, keep it going. Yep.
Yeah, I was just wondering how much it cost.
Yeah, absolutely no. So that is a really good question. So we taken that approach that we took to development, which is develop like that sort of prototype, minimum viable product, and then optimize, is in a technology space a really good way of not sort of investing too much up front to make something perfect. Actually, our digital vendor partner is here in the room, and so we work really closely with our digital partner to actually develop Cancer Visor. So the cost of development, you know, it's like you could spend like $50,000, $300,000 to just develop something. I mean, it is quite broad. It's how much you're comfortable with what you release and then how much you invest. We are continuing to invest in Cancer Visor. We probably spent the minimum amount to actually release it and then to continue to optimize. That's where the sort of, you know, the considerations come in. We do also have to appropriately resource. So the content on the site at the moment, that over 1,000 pieces of content, the majority of that we have actually put, you know, sourced and put on the site ourselves. We're hoping that with the growth of Cancer Visor, there is a way that users can be adding content themselves, so it's not necessarily reliant on us to always be putting new pieces of information up there. Hopefully it'll come from the community, consumers and users and health professionals. So at the moment we do have one FTE that is adding content on the site, and then we have another probably around 0.8 FTE that's actually doing a lot of work around the marketing and promotion and social media and data and analytics as well.
We have time for one more question, if anybody... No? Everybody's happy? Okay, thank you very much.